A record night on something that hadn't been done all season. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Thursday Dodgers Latest here on our YouTube channel. So happy you're part of the community. Keep following us. Share, subscribe, tell a friend. Give those thumbs up here. And of course, we love your comments. Had plenty of comments last night. We read them all, we answer back, and sometimes we'll even talk about them here on the air. So you guys can create the content here. And of course, always hit me up right there on J-Rod Show on X and on Instagram. So yeah, record night, history was made, and a sweep of 3 equals 2 for the Dodgers. That's right. They sweep the Reds in the 3-game series, and now the Dodgers lead the National League West by 2 games over the San Diego Padres. A big night as the Mariners took 2 out of 3 from the Padres up in Seattle, while the Dodgers swept the Reds. Kind of a weird time in that the Reds, that was the first time all season they had been swept in a series, and they were the last major league team to go without being swept in a series. And the Dodgers, I'll tell you what, they dominated them from pillar to post. It was a complete and total wash as the Dodgers buried Cincinnati. Dodgers have now won 4 in a row. San Diego, as we mentioned, lost 2 out of 3 to the Mariners. So now the Dodgers up by 2 in the National League West. And possibly even more important, Philadelphia has gone into the tank as they got swept in Queens against the Mets. So the Dodgers have now jumped over the Phillies, and the Dodgers are the number 2 seed in the National League at the start of play today. Dodgers have a half a game lead. They're tied in the loss column. Basically, the Dodgers have one more win than the Phillies. The Phillies are they're playing the Braves this weekend, and they start a 4-game series tonight. Dodgers will take today off, and they will play the Diamondbacks starting tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. So that half a game difference between the Dodgers and Phillies will be made up tonight as the Phillies play the Braves. So the Dodgers will either be tied with the Phillies or have a full game lead against them for that number 2 seed. And of course, the importance of that number 2 seed, we've talked about it, is you don't have to play in that a 3-game wild card series. You go right into the division series, which is best of 5, and that starts the first weekend of the postseason. As of right now, the Phillies have the tiebreaker, having won 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, but the Dodgers and Phillies aren't done. They play this coming September 15th through the 17th. That's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Phillies come to Dodger Stadium. So that should be a very interesting series. Dodgers have it tough. They end the year in Seattle as well, who are fighting for the last wild card and as well trying to catch the Astros for the division lead. But I'll tell you what, it's time to make hay. We'll get into it tomorrow as the Dodgers are in a very soft part of their schedule, playing the Diamondbacks this weekend. San Diego, well, they're going to be in Minnesota. Not the toughest opponent, but at least the Dodgers are at home while the Padres are on the road. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that all weekend. So the Dodgers start half a game ahead of the Phillies for the number 2 seed and 2 full games up on the Padres on the National League West. So we talked about that it was a record night. Yeah, 19 strikeouts for Dodger pitchers. 5 pitchers, 19 strikeouts. That is a franchise record for the Dodgers. And leading the way was Shohei Ohtani. First time all season that he was able to go 5 innings, only gave up an earned run, and had 9 of those 19 strikeouts. Just an absolute dominant performance by the Dodgers pitching last night, and actually for this series against Cincinnati. It looks like the Reds may be out of commission. They're now 4.5 back of the Mets for that last wild card. But it was great to see Ohtani looking sharp. Remember, if he had not pitched well at all, he'd given up 9 earned runs in his last 2 starts, which is 8 1/3. Got 14 hits, had gotten kind of pushed around by 2 bad teams, by the Angels and the Rockies, albeit it was both on the road. Came back home, the friendly confines of Dodger Stadium, and Ohtani looked great. 5 innings, first time this season. And I guess that's where the Dodgers have wanted to get him in terms of this starting pitching experiment. They wanted to get him to be able to throw 5 innings. Looks like he's possibly stretched out. And now he becomes an actual valid possibility in the postseason. Question is, where would you start Ohtani early in the series, late in the series? Would you even start him in a series? Would you start him in a wild card series, which is best of 5, or just have him concentrate on hitting. Dodgers would be in that wild card if they end up falling out of the first two seeds in the National League standings. They would be the third best division record, or all the wild cards would have to play in that wild card best of three series. Or would you even save him, or maybe use him out of a bullpen situation like he did in the World Baseball Classic for Team Japan? I think that's what the Dodgers have secretly up their sleeve to try to get him in to get a big out late in a postseason game. I'm talking like League Championship Series, World Series kind of stuff. But interesting to see what they'll do with Ohtani, who actually looked great. Great bounce back performance. He will not pitch this weekend in Arizona. Will probably pitch when the Dodgers hit the road and they go to Pittsburgh and Baltimore next week. Some games that they need to win in this soft part of the schedule. So great on the Dodgers. 19 strikeouts, a historic night at Dodger Stadium on Ohtani bobblehead. Didn't hit a home run, but the Dodgers did end up winning the game, and he looked great on the mound. All right, now, the future of Max Muncy. That is a definite talk about all that's going on in the Dodger clubhouse. Muncy, of course, Dodgers kind of picked him up off the scrap heap with the A's. Probably one of the most successful low-key free agent signings the Dodgers have ever made. I would say Justin Turner 1, Max Muncy 2, in terms of what they've meant for the team. And Max Muncy, I mean, he's got 17 home runs this year. He is seventh all time in Dodger history with home runs, 207. He's 4 behind Steve Garvey for 6th all time. And that's Brooklyn and L.A., by the way. He's probably, I don't know if he'll catch Eric Karros, who is the L.A. Dodger record. I think it's 270, but 207 for Max Muncy. But the question is, will he be back next year? Max is a free agent at the end of this season, and he does have a club option. Dodgers can re-sign him for 1 year, $10 million next year. Pretty, quote-unquote bargain considering all the money that's being thrown out there. But the question is, do you trust Max Muncy to be healthy anymore? He had a terrible slump this year. Turns out he had astigmatism, got it corrected with some contact lenses and some glasses, was able to hit, but then he got hurt again with his oblique, and that's a tough injury. The Dodgers expect him to be back, maybe even for this next road trip to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but can he stay healthy? And the question is, who is next for the Dodgers? Freeland has done a good job at third base. Tommy Edman and Ha-Seong Kim, they're hurt, but they have filled in at third base when Max got hurt with his knee on Clayton Kershaw's 3,000th strikeout night against the White Sox. The question is, would you invest one more year in Max Muncy? And here's why I think the Dodgers might not do it. I think Max Muncy's time in LA is coming to an end because there's a guy in Japan, and we know the success the Dodgers have had with Japanese players. There he is, Munetaka Murakami, 26 years old in February of next year, left-handed batter, plays for the Yakult Swallows, and it looks like he will be posted and he will be made available to major league teams starting in 2026. He hit 56 home runs in 2022. That is a Japanese baseball record. He's hit 253 home runs in 8 seasons. He's a left-handed bat, and he plays third base. I think Muncy's a good option if they don't get Murakami. It only is going to cost the Dodgers $10 million, and they have Alex Freeland, who could be the future at third base. They've got Ha-Seong Kim, who can play a little bit of everywhere, and there's other free agents out there. But is Munetaka Murakami the Dodgers' future? 26 years old. It's going to cost them a boatload of money. Dodgers aren't worried about that. The question is, will they be the highest bidder? They've already got the experience dealing with Japan, bringing players over. Don't need, Ohtani, Yamamoto, Sasaki, and plus their history in the past with Kenta Maeda, Ishii, Hideo Nomo, who was the first big success to come over for the Dodgers. Munetaka Murakami, 56 home runs, a Japanese baseball record in 2022. Big, left-handed, slugging third baseman. He could be the future for the Dodgers at third base, and it might be the end of the Max Muncy era. We shall see. Lots of dollars and lots of things to still happen, but something to think about as we go into this stretch run with Max Muncy due to come back from an oblique, and what's going to happen in the winter, and what will that look like at the start of 2026. All right, Dodgers are off today. Diamondbacks tomorrow for a big 3-game series. Blake Snell, fresh off the paternity list, he will take the mound for the Dodgers. So congrats to the Snells on their new addition. And of course the Dodgers 3 with the Diamondbacks while the Padres are in Minnesota. Dodgers 2 up in the West and a half a game at the start of play today against the Phillies for that number 2 seed. Philadelphia will be playing the Braves all weekend. Fun stuff as we get closer. Remember to hit me up on Instagram and on X right there at JRod Show. Like, subscribe, keep giving us a thumbs up here on Dodgers Latest. The Dodgers off today, enjoying it. Diamondbacks tomorrow, and so we will be back tomorrow with you. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and as always, it's always time for Dodger baseball.